In today's technical session at Regal Boxing Gym in Forest Gate, London, we're going to go over the foundation of boxing. So, previous weeks I spoke about rhythm and timing and how Oleksandr Usyk uses it to dominate his opponents. But now let's go one step backwards. In order for you to use rhythm and timing, you need balance. So balance comes from the foundation of boxing. Your fundamentals is your stance. Are you standing toe to heel? Can you kick the ball? Can you transfer your weight from left foot to right foot? Now, if you can do these things at all times, your weight is equally distributed or distributed more so on the right leg at the right time, it's going to enable you to fluently move in boxing because now you have balance. You've mastered the first step of boxing, which is the foundations, the fundamentals. It's your boxing stance. Now in boxing, balance gives you freedom, but rhythm allows you to keep flowing. Now, what I mean by that is when you're balanced, you're stable. You've got freedom and options to do any movement you want. You can punch, you can slip, you can step, you can roll, any movement. It gives you freedom, it gives you options, but rhythm is the motion of that balance. So it's enabling you to go from movement to movement, movement to movement. But for you to master that, you have to understand how to transfer your weight, which is the beginning of being a rhythmic fighter, is transferring your weight, going from left to right, right to left, and so on. Balanced stance. Now, your knees need to be bent, you need to be sitting in your stance, which is going to enable the transfer. Because watch this, if my legs are straight, I'm unable to transfer. Even though I'm turning my foot, my hip, and my shoulder, look, when I throw my two, my weight should go to my front leg, but I'm unable to. I'm unable to transfer it. But when you're sitting in your stance, you can twist, and now it's here. So you need to master transferring your weight, because watch this. This is the predictable rhythm. This is the foundation. This is the first layer of rhythm. Look, left, right, left, right. Look at my knees. Look at my legs. Look how I'm bouncing. I'm transferring from leg to leg. And it's the same things when you punch. This is just defensive movements. Look, slip, 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 roll, roll. Look, my hips are rotating and consequently my head is moving. So I'm just turning like this. You see that? But it's the same thing with punches. Hook, 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 jab, cross, jab, cross. I'm still moving the weight from left leg to right leg. So whether it's a punch, head movement, or whether you're stepping, you're transferring your weight. Balance allows flow in your weight transfer. When you see a boxer like Dmitry Bivol, how he's using the pendulum step and he's going back and forth, so effortlessly, so seamlessly, so elegantly, because he's in a balanced stance, so he can step forward, weights on the front leg, step backwards, then weights on the rear leg. He's like it's in the name, pendulum. Now a pendulum is perfectly balanced. If a pendulum isn't perfectly balanced, it's not going to sway from side to side. So when he's in his stance, it's like a pyramid, and he's stepping, 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 effortlessly because of he's balanced. Now, part of the reason why Dmitry Bivol was able to use that pendulum step is because he's always standing in a triangle. So what that means is that his left foot's on one side, his right foot's on one side, but his head is at the peak, like an isosceles triangle, not like a right angle triangle. He's never going to be leaning forward, because if he's leaning forward, look, you can't, your options are limited. You haven't got freedom. Remember I said that balance should always give you freedom. But if I'm standing like this, I haven't got the freedom to make certain moves. But if I'm like this, like a triangle, I can step in, step out. So it's the balance. His head is never over his rear foot, never over his front foot, but also never over his rear foot. Always perfectly balanced, symmetric. He stands symmetric. What it means is the rhythm that you build is enabled by the balance that you maintain. In order for you to you have to have balance. If you maintain balance, you can then develop a rhythm. And that's true in Oleksandr Usyk also. So when Oleksandr Usyk's boxing his opponents, he's in a perfect balanced stance, and that's how he's able to step in, step out. And sometimes when opponents attack him, he slips and he pivots and twists out. And the reason why he's able to do that is because he's always balanced, which gives him options. So now, the first thing you need to do is learn how to get into a perfect stance, which I'm going to show you now. You're so lucky, aren't you? I spoil you. Now, if you're right-handed, you're going to do exactly as I do. And if you're left-handed, you're going to do the exact opposite. So you need to start with your feet together like this. Together. Now, make sure your feet don't stagger and stagnate and move around. You need to be swift in all your movements and precise. So your right foot, if you're right-handed, you're going to swift 90 degrees, just like that. Then from your toe, 90 degrees again. Perfect. From your heel, another 90 degrees. Now from your toe, one more 90 degrees. And now look, my torso and my feet are facing 12 o'clock. But you want them to face 2 o'clock. So you're going to twist, twist. Now there's a slight gap between my feet, which is okay. You can have a slight gap or you can stand toe to heel. That's fine, as long as you can kick the football, which means your rear foot should be able to swing past. Now, I don't want you to be standing in line and then do this. No, because you would hit, which is incorrect. This is a stance that is more so for advanced boxers when they want to purely be defensive, because you can't punch from this position. You haven't got freedom, which is what you need. It's essential to have freedom, which means you're going to be able to develop your rhythm. So you're standing across the toe to heel, sitting in your stance, being able to enable the transfer of weight between punch and punch. And from this position, now you can start the drills to learn how to develop your rhythm. And the first drill you're going to learn how to do is punch and step. You're going to step forward and step back. Da, 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 da. Once you master it, let's add a punch to it. 1 step back. 1 step back. 1 step back. You see it's in the rhythm. Ba, 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 ba. We're just moving in a particular beat over and over and again. Now, when you do something continuously in the same, when you do the sequence in the same rhythm, then it becomes a beat. Yeah. What you need to do is practice doing that, and then you're going to be really good at doing it, and you're going to be able to create new beats, new rhythms. You're going to be able to do so always balanced also, because we're practicing this in a well-balanced stance. Now, the reason why Dmitry Bivol and Oleksandr Usyk are well-balanced is through repetition. That's the truth. You have to practice these fundamentals over and over again until they never break. It's impossible for them to break. The reason why you see boxers like, I'm not going to mention any names, but you see certain boxers that might have a mixed martial arts background or a kickboxing background, and they're caught with uppercuts or different shots at different angles where you shouldn't really even be, is because the fundamentals hasn't been drilled into them. But the reason why you see boxers like Oleksandr Usyk, Dmitry Bivol, they're not really hit flush by certain shots, and that's because they're so well drilled, so well versed in being a fundamentally sound boxer that they're never caught at a wrong angle, because they're never at that wrong angle. So you're going to stand side on, toe to heel, knees bent, and just moving like that, moving more balanced, practicing that. Whether you're doing that for a 2-minute round or a 3-minute round, it's okay. You need to just be able to do it, you need to maintain it for the whole round. So even if you're doing 4 rounds in the bag, you can then add on combinations, add on different defensive movements after the offense and step. But it's more so about intentionally focusing on always being in a balanced stance. Now, like I said to you, balance is going to give you freedom, and rhythm is that freedom in motion. So you need to really make sure that the balance has been mastered, your stance has been mastered, and then you're going to be able to develop rhythm and timing. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, drop a comment what you enjoyed about this, where are you watching this from, let me know. And if you're local and you want to drop in for a real life boxing session at Regal Boxing Gym in Forest Gate, then email me, hit me up, and let's get training.